Isn't this the cutest thing in the world? I'm going to be making the companion not matching little booty to this guy. I'm using the Menta booty for toddlers and children. Here we go. So here's the material I'll be using for the toe reinforcement. The material I'll be using for the sole is denim. The material I'll be using for the lining and mane is just this really thin, soft cotton. And the material I'll be using for the cuff is this ribbed, stretchy, navy blue material. Alright, I'll come back when everything's cut out. Okay, these are all the pieces cut out for one shoe. You can use different material or patterns for the mane and the lining for the toe. Same with the lining and the sole, but I'm just using the same all around. I want to be able to turn them inside out and have everything work. So, all right, come back when we're starting to pin everything together. So next, I like to pin the toe piece and then sew that in place. You're only going to be sewing across this top edge right here. And the pattern recommends using a straight stitch, but I like to use the zigzag stitch for pretty much like everything. It's my favorite. It looks really cute and it holds things nicely. So now I'm going to sew this and we'll be back for the next step. Okay, the toe pieces are sewed. Like I said, you don't have to sew the bottom part, just the top part. So now we're going to be assembling right sides together. Throw a little pin in here. And this part was kind of tricky at first when first couple times I did it, but I've done it so many times now that I got it down. So I like to do a pin in the corner here, there, one in the middle, and then go to the other side. Do the same thing in there, in the corner. Hand is malfunctioning. Okay, now I'm just going to put 2 more pins and I'm going to pull. I'm not going to pull the fabric here, the toe fabric. I'm going to pull the elastic cuff fabric and I'm going to pin there. And then the whole time that I'm sewing this in place, I'm going to be pulling as well to make sure that that fabric gets nice and snug. All right. Now I'm going to sew this just to show you, and then I'll do the other side. Oh God. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm going to do the same zigzag stitch, especially on this knit fabric. That's very stretchy. You want a good stretch resistant stitch. Trying to really hone in the skill of having a consistent seam balance. It is quite difficult, to say the least, but I'm practicing every day, at least every day. Alright. So once your toe piece is, one side is sewed, it's going to look like that, and this is kind of, here gets you a little bit of an idea of what that's going to end up looking like on the outside. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and attach the other piece, the lining or the main, whichever one, and we'll be back. Alright, so now you have both of your main and your lining sewn onto the stretchy cuff. Now you're basically just going to line up all the edges. And you're basically going to sew this edge to make this into a tube. It's very, very exciting. But I really love this pattern. I'm an amateur, and this pattern's been really great. It's really easy to follow. There's a lot of good tips included. Yeah, I've downloaded not too many, but I feel like I've downloaded enough patterns so far to know which ones are good and which ones are like not so good. So Menta is the pattern I'm using for these booties. Once again, just a reminder, and I'll have it linked in the description below. So we are going to sew this just like that, just along the back edge, and I'm going to continue to use that stretchy zigzag stitch. Alright, let's see how well I can do with my seam allowance. Back up into that little heel area. I'm gonna go slow. Alright, now you have your tube. I'm gonna turn it inside out, or right side out, I guess. And you're going to line up the front and the back, centers. All right. It's pretty good. Pretty lined up. All right. Now we're going to pin the sole on, and I'm not gonna put you through watching me do that, but I'll come back when it's all pinned and you'll see it. Okay, so here is the lining sole all pinned on. I'm gonna go ahead and sew around this once again with my stretchy stitch. I'll be back when that's all sewn on there. Toodles! Here is the sole, lining all sewed together. Now we're gonna do something kind of weird, but trust me, it works. Push this all in. Right here, and up, and up. I'm just around, and up, and into two, so like a little shirt cuff, probably a bunch of everything, that's all one pattern, this works. So anyway, so these two is making ready, so I'm sewing it, like, I'm not even, so it's on, you can tap, so it's like, this is how it works, of course. Done. Okay, so now all the pins are facing the right direction, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew this and we'll be back. Okay, so it's all sewed together except for this little flap right here. This is so you can turn it inside out. I think I'm actually gonna sew it a little bit more right here because this isn't super stiff. If this was like leather or something, I would keep the gap pretty big, but this is all pretty soft, so I should be able to pull it inside out through a smaller opening. No. So I just grab the cuff and carefully just turn it inside out. Look at your beautiful, consistent seam. Okay. So now you're like, oh, what do you do? I have this big thing. So what I've been trying to do is learn how to do this invisible stitch, but it's really hard. I don't understand why my fingers don't work that way. I've watched like 13 different YouTube videos. So I've decided to just do a whip stitch, and then I'll turn this completely inside out. That way the whip stitch is on the inside and you won't see it. So I'm gonna get that whip stitch going and we'll be back. I thought this was really cute. I didn't have anywhere to store my extra spools of thread. So this is a knitting needle, and they fit like perfectly on the needle, and super cute. I can like pull whichever one I want. Life hack. So for my whip stitch, I'm using a like double threaded denim thread for top stitching denim, I guess. But I thought it was a pretty color, and if it'll ever focus, here we go. Oh, there we are. Yeah, it's super pretty, but it's thick, and it's for jeans, and that is what this sole is made of, so yeah. It's like, okay, let's use this here. So yeah, I'm just gonna start, pull that through, and then down, and I'm just gonna keep going until this is all closed up. I didn't know this was called a whip stitch before today. My sister, who is very creative and talented with the fiber arts, she told me that it was called a whip stitch. Alright, I'm gonna come back when this is all stitched up and ready to turn inside out. Okay, here's the stitch all done on the side here. And the final reveal would you look at that. Almost perfect. How adorable is this, though? I love it. Oh my god. So this floral material is from a button-up shirt that I had that was like, I think it was made in the 70s. It had been around for a long time, and I wore it like crazy for a very long time. And finally it got to a point where I was like, I need to retire this shirt. So I put it in my I'll make something with this someday box, and when I finally got a sewing machine in November of last year, I'm so excited I get to use it. This material is from a t-shirt, or a button-up shirt actually, that my dad wore pretty often. It was a nicer short sleeve button up that was like a good summer thin fabric. So here we are. We got these semi-matching booties. They both have denim on the soles, and they both have some of this vintage floral fabric. This one has an old skirt, stretchy cuff, and this one has like a ribbed stretchy cuff from like a dress that I had. But yeah, I'll take some cute pictures of these, and thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the booties that you end up making.